Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. God bless you. How y'all doing this Sunday afternoon slash evening, no matter where you are in the country? Welcome to In Context with Jim Green, where we defend the faith and send the sinner and the saint to the gospel of the one, the only Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Hope that you guys are blessed on this afternoon. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. God bless you. Thank you for being good mothers, taking care of your siblings, and all that type of stuff. I know we got people out here today uh, talking about um, Mother's Day as pagan and all this other stuff. This is really weird time that we live in where everything is pagan these days. It's really weird. But anyway, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, uh, and God bless you all. Sheila Mahone, appreciate you. Thank you for being here, and all the rest of you as you come in. So today is a going to be a good topic. Going to be a good topic. But before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know from my last stream, the 6 hour stream that I did last week. Thank you guys, all of you who participated. I appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate your input, and I appreciate also too. Like I said before, I don't do a lot of fundraising on my channel because that's not why I do this. But I do have a project on the table right now. I'm trying to pick up a quick piece of equipment that's going to help me with my street team ministry. Some of you already know it's this right here, the rescue mission, where we go out and do street preaching. We hand out tracts. We feed people. We sometimes clothe people, do whatever we can out there in the streets. The main mission is to show people love and to share with them the gospel of Jesus Christ. My goal last week was 200. I didn't quite reach my goal. So I got I got it scrolling on the bottom of the screen here. Um, if you can, Zelle a gift towards this. I am how much short? I'm 120 short. I'm 120 short of that. If you don't, it's not a problem. You can still stay here, interact. This is not mandatory. I'm just simply asking if it's in your heart, God leads you to help this ministry. Definitely do that, and you can do that by selling your gift to do the work 2020 at gmail.com. Anyway, so I have a poll. I just figured out how to do this. There is a poll in the should be a poll in the in here that says is my poll not coming up now? Let me look it up because I'm new to polls, guys. I don't normally do this, but I decided to do it because I think this is a good stream to do that. I don't see my poll. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so the poll question is hold on a second. The what? Sheila says it's there, but I can't see it. I don't know why I can't see it, but let's see. I made the question. I don't even should racism within the church be called out? That is the question. Should racism within the church be called out? That's our poll question. And I'm asking this question because this is a very sensitive topic. And for people that say, Jim, you're always attacking the Hebrew Israelites, or why you don't go after other black people, where here's what I have for you. Okay, today's show is going into the category of what I call uncomfortable conversations. Okay, uncomfortable conversations. What is an uncomfortable conversation? You might say. So put it this way: when I was a kid, and I'll be outside playing, and I fell down and I jacked my knee up. I come running into the house screaming, "Oh!" I scraped up my knee. My mother, and it's Mother's Day, so this is a good story for y'all. My mother, who was a very good mother, still to this day, just left her. Went over there, gave her a gift, hugged on her neck, kissed on her. She would bring a towel, some kind of towel, and she either had some alcohol or some Bactine and what was that other stuff that she used to have that cleans your wounds, whatever. She has some kind of wound cleaning solution. Now she applied that to my scraped up knee, and it stung. It hurt. It stings, right? And boys, be quiet. I need you need this. So she's put that on there. It's stinging, right? It stings for a little while, but then peroxide. That's right. Thank you, Sheila Mahomes. That's good. That's it. Peroxide. See, I know. I got smart people in my community. Thank you. I appreciate that, sis. So she bring the peroxide or the Bactine or the alcohol, and the stings, right? But it was necessary for that thing to sting because is in there doing what it's supposed to do, getting the impurities out, getting the infection stuff, getting all that, cleaning that stuff out. It had to sting first. But after the sting, it started doing what it was supposed to do. That's this topic right here. We need to hear this. Somebody need to hear this, okay? And I'm gonna be honest with you. Usually the problem I have, and I'm talking to and listen, I'm very blessed. I'm blessed that my parents raised me not to see color, not to see a person that's white or otherwise. That's another human being. If you cut them, they're gonna bleed red. And guess what, Jim? You're gonna bleed red too. We might be separated by culture or whatever, but we're still human beings. I was blessed by that. You see, so I have people who follow this channel that are Caucasian. I have people that follow this channel that are Hispanic. And of course, I have Black followers of this channel. So listen, I don't want my white followers, my white friends in this community. I don't want you to be upset. I want you to be objective. This is what I like you to do. This is my goal here. I'm gonna let you know my heart. Okay. Number one, acknowledge that there's a problem. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, that's the first thing I'd like for you to do. And number two, like if you go to the doctor can't fix you unless you tell him. He asks you a series of questions to figure out what's wrong with you. What are your symptoms? If you tell him nothing's wrong, he can't fix you. He can't give you the medicine you need to help you. This is the same thing. We got to deal with these symptoms. This is a symptom of a problem. So we have to talk about it. So let's come to grips with the fact there are people that claim to be children of God that show us otherwise by their speech and their actions. It's the real thing. Okay. Number two, this is what I would like for y'all to do. Identify and call out those who are willing to engage in anything that hints at, looks like, or sounds like racism. Especially when that racism is wrapped in biblical clothing. That's the most dangerous, right? So, I mean, this is unhealthy. This is an unhealthy, ungodly cancer that we got to cut out, okay, if we're going to be named the children of God. Plain and simple. Number three, begin taking steps to move away from people and institutions that hold to this type of ideology. We got to come away from this stuff. If we could listen, we got to separate us from everything, separate ourselves from everything that does not look like or sound like God. Does that make sense? Now, don't get weird on me. I'm not talking about your job. You can't go to your job because they're not godly at your job. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. You gotta work. That's not, I'm talking about institutions such as church and other institutions where that say that they're godly, but they're not. That's going to entail you cutting loose of some of these pastors that you guys hold on high esteem. Yeah, because sometimes we put our pastors in a place where they shouldn't be. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Joel Webbin. I don't even know who that is, Sheila Mahone, but let me know, because I might do something on him too if he fits this category. But this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. And y'all make sure y'all like and share this. This is another one of them conversations that we need this conversation everywhere. We need everybody talking about this. Nobody's talking about. I won't say nobody's talking about this because we're talking particularly about a specific person. We're talking about Corey Mahler, but Corey Mahler is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this topic. He just happens to be the one that's out front with his stuff. So that's why we're talking about it. But it's not just Corey Mahler. I'm going to show you that this goes deeper than Corey Mahler. He's not an anomaly. This kind of stuff has been going on for a long time. Okay. But what the first thing I want to show you guys, though, is so that we understand. I'm gonna play a clip of something that I said that went viral on TikTok. Okay. So that you understand my heart, because I don't want to be, you guys, if you know me, you know I do not like being misunderstood, right? I don't like it, period. I do not like being misunderstood. So in order to not be misunderstood, I want you to hear my heart. So I'm going to play this video this video that I posted on TikTok, and it got 30,000 views. Just like a week ago. And this is me. This is, in essence, this is me, true me. And if you know me, you know this is actual me. Okay. This isn't something I made up. This comes out of my heart. So here we go. A little more succinct terms so you can understand it. Just because some white people did some stupid racist stuff hundreds of years ago does not make all white people evil. I'm going to say it in a little more succinct terms so you can understand it. Just because some white people did some stupid racist stuff hundreds of years ago does not make all white people evil. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something about what you just heard. I got some interesting reactions on that. A lot of my white brothers and sisters were saying, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for saying this. You know, because I think a lot of people are under a lot of racial pressure from black folks, you know, because look at the landscape. Well, look who we dealing with now. I understand that. I do. Okay. But I want you to understand that the actions of one group of people or one person or a few people is not responsible for the whole race. And that goes for the other side too. Just because some black people act stupid, act a fool, that doesn't represent all of us. Okay. So it goes on the other side too. You see? Let's look at this stuff objectively. That's all I'm saying. Okay, Joel Webber, a Christian nationalist. Now, I think that's going to be in this area. Sheila Mahone, that's going to be my next topic. I'm going to talk about some Christian nationalists. I'm finding out some very interesting things along that line. So thank you for putting that out there. But so let me see. Let's do this. Let's talk about Corey Mahler. Now, some of you might already have seen the debate that he did with Samuel Say. And we're gonna look at some of that a little bit later. But I'm gonna show you. Go to a person if you want to know a person who the person is. Go to their site and look at their stuff. You know, and you'll find some people just who they are. All you got to do is read their stuff. Corey Mahler is one of those people, like, because he thinks that he has a biblical precedent for his position on black folks. Let me show you what I found. I did a little bit of digging. This is CoreyMahler.com. This is his website. Okay, so you ain't gonna find me ever find me putting stuff in people's mouth. I just don't do that. And if I happen to do it, it's by mistake, and I'll correct it. But look, right on this website, the first thing you come upon is the curse of Ham. The curse of Ham, right? Now, just right off the rip, y'all, and I know I got some Bible people in there. I know I got Bible people in there. Was Ham the one that was cursed? It's just a question I'm just going to put out there. Was Ham the one that was cursed in the Bible? Did God curse Ham? And what hold on, let me go ahead and go over here so I can show you. He was excommunicated from his church. Yes, he was, definitely. And he needed to be. Because we're gonna look, you're gonna see why. Look at this. Here's what he says right on his website. Okay. Genesis 9, it is recorded that Ham sinned against his father Noah. The Holy Ghost is deliberately sparse on the details of what precisely Ham did, although it is the glory of kings to search out, or at least handle rightly, that which has been revealed. There are times and places when and where wisdom argues against investigation or inquisitiveness. Oh, so you mean we shouldn't search stuff? That's what he just said. There are times and places when and where wisdom argues against investigation or inquisitiveness, and I believe that Ham's sin is one such place. And so I will here, as elsewhere, decline to speculate on the nature of Ham's sin. Okay, it is what it is. It is sufficient to note that Ham's actions were sufficiently wicked that God cursed his entire line. Now, this is a lie. This is a lie. Because the Bible doesn't say that he cursed Ham. He cursed Canaan. Now you can make a thing and say, well, Canaan was his descendant, but we can't. This is what we can't do. We can't make the Bible say something that it doesn't say. Okay, and that's what Mr. Mahler is doing here. The nature of Ham's transgression aside, it is quite profitable to explore and analyze Father Noah's prophecy concerning his three sons and their progeny. The prophecy is in reverse birth order. Okay, and he's talking about Genesis 9, Japheth the elder, Genesis, and he will treat it in that order. The first section, we will simply assume that Ham is meant here. Canaan is spoken and recorded. Yes, Canaan is. So he says, oh, so what he's saying here is God really meant to curse Ham, but he cursed Canaan. No. This is, I will make the argument that we must interpret the curse as of Ham. Why? If it doesn't say that, why are you doing this? In the final section, we will further assess whether or not the prophecy has played out in time. So that's where he makes his case. Now, when he talks about Ham, let me come up for this one because this is very important. Whenever people talk about Ham, they're talking about black people. Okay. Now, I don't care who you are. Everyone knows and reads the Bible and understands that black people came from Ham. You have to totally reject what the Bible says in order to not accept that. It's clear. It's clear. Okay. So whenever he says Ham, he means black people. Let's just break it down. Okay. Let's get that together right there. So, and I think I'm gonna move a little closer. This is kind of far away. I think y'all might be having problems reading this. Okay, so let me come up. I'm not gonna break this whole thing down, by the way. I just wanted to make the point. The point here being made is that right here when he says, I will make the argument, notice he says I will make the argument that we must interpret the curse as of Ham. No, we're not going to do that because why? The Bible doesn't do that. Right? So the Bible doesn't do that. So here's what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm going to put all the resources. I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to put it in the chat for y'all to check it out yourself. So I'm gonna put this in there, and y'all can check this out for yourself. And that allows me, that frees me up to move on to something else. You guys understand what I'm doing. Okay, so now let's look at um this idea, his idea of, this is another one of his websites called Stone Choir on racism. Okay. So let's look. We're just taking a look at this guy. Okay. Maybe that nobody else has actually done. I don't know anybody who's done this. I know a few people have done some stuff on it, but I don't know if they've done this kind of stuff right here. So check this out. Stone Choir, that's his website. So listen, the first sentence: racism is not a sin. Y'all see that? Racism is not a sin. The modern day sin of racism was invented in the 19th century and then imported into the churches from the decadent and decaying culture. If you think that racism is a sin, then you have been misled. Are you serious, Mr. Mahler? This dude says racism is not a sin. Okay, we're not going to go into this episode because it's long. This is the lead up to his audio, which is 2 hours. We're not doing that. But I just want to say, in this episode, we go over the history of the term racism, where it originated and how it entered into our modern culture, and take a look at how Satan is using it to destroy the church. Really? You're not lying about that. This is the culmination of our series on race and the most important episode in the series. This episode may make you uncomfortable, but the truth is worth it. I would go on a limb and say, just based on this, I would probably do I might do some investigation on this myself, because I want to know how he says racism is not a sin when racism is rooted in hate. I don't get that. I don't get how he's getting that. Racism is not a sin. Man, look here. Look here. We off to a great start. Okay, so now if that's not enough, like I said, if you want to know who a person is, pay attention to their social media. Pay attention to their social media. Let's look at Corey Mahler's social media. This is going to tell you everything you need to know. I'm talking about everything. These are his hold on, let me pull this up. Y'all not going to believe this. Y'all are not going to believe this. This blew my mind. This blew my mind. Okay, so this is from protestia.com. Someone did us a great favor and went out and gathered all these racist tweets of Corey Mahler and put them all on one page. And we get ready to look at them right now. As you can see right off the bat, look at this, guys. Look at this. This is a person that says that. Now, I want you to understand this. I want you to understand the implication of this right here. This is a person that says they're saved. They're walking in the Holy Spirit. They're walking in the love of God. But this person is saying this right here, that racism is not a sin. Okay. This person is saying Jesus Christ is Lord, and Adolf Hitler is his faithful servant. Yep, you heard it. Yep, that's what he said. That's what he said. Y'all looking at it right now with your own two eyes. This man said, and y'all looking at his account, Jesus Christ is Lord, and Adolf Hitler is his is his faithful servant. Wow. Just wow. And he's got a picture right next to him of Adolf Hitler. If this ain't racism, I don't know what is. So here's the next one. Let's go on to the next one, because we got all these little tweets on here, all lined up. And I don't think he disavows any of this. I haven't seen it anyways. I haven't seen it anyways. Um, Video of Corey Mahler, a obstreperous pagan who spends his days cosplaying as a Christian. This was this person said, or Protestia said this, but not a very convincing one, being formally excommunicated for his church and denomination. So, just so you know, this is.
There is one piece of service that has to take place before our divine service itself begins, and that is the pastoral declaration of excommunication for Corey Mahler. The congregation voted on his excommunication back in the beginning of March when I was in the hospital. Today is the first Sunday as the called minister of this congregation that it is being declared as part of the divine service.
Okay, so we don't have to know anymore. That just shows you right there. That shows you that they excommunicated him. Now, why? I'm showing you why. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? Look, but it doesn't stop there, guys. Look at why. Here's some more reasons why they excommunicated him. This is the I think it's the Lutheran Church, and I'm gonna show you an article that's connected to this too. Here's what he said. One of the things he said: blacks have been in the United States for centuries. So have pigs, but that doesn't make them human. And underneath that, blacks are not American. This is a Christian guy who wants to be a leader in the church, guys. Wants to be a leader in the church. I don't know how many people. I think maybe he has a couple of 100,000. Let me see real quick. I'm just going to look. I'm going to see how many actual like followers he has on X. Let's see how many he has. I'm just going to look it up real quick. Let's see here. I don't know how many, or if it's a lot at all. I don't even know how many it is, honestly. Okay, it's coming up. You guys don't see it, but wait a minute. Okay, hold on a second. Let's type it in. Corey Mahler. Okay. Boom. Okay. Okay, so he only, I mean, not huge. He has 18,000 followers on X, formerly Twitter. But he has 10,000 posts. He posts a lot. Okay. And this is the kind of stuff he's posting. Let's look here. Let's look down here more. I posted this one actually on my Facebook, I think. Yeah. Interracial marriage is tantamount to murder. And listen, if you one of my white brothers in Christ and you watching this, I know you condemn this. At least the ones I know. I know you condemn this. I know that you do not agree with this. I know you don't. Because any person walking in the spirit of God would not agree with this. This is crazy. Whites and blacks are not equal and never will be. What? Really? Let's look at some more. This is so much. It's so much. What's the Jews? It almost doesn't matter. Just pick something bad. Pornography Jews, immigration Jews, miscegenation. I don't even know what that word is, and I'm a word person. Jews, miscegenation. Maybe somebody look that up for me because I don't even know what that is. Usury Jews, selling nuclear secrets Jews, releasing murderers back onto the streets Jews, house prices Jews, opioid epidemic Jews, poisoning our food Jews, murdered the Lord Jesus Jews. The Jews who killed the Lord Jesus and their own prophets have persecuted us, and they say, please not God and contrary to all men. That's what he posts here. But here's the post that went along with that. Part of growing up is realizing the wicked men who rule over you told you to hate the very flags that were flown by those men who were fighting on your behalf. This dude is trying to promote Hitler again. This is crazy. Seriously? So you for what he did, what Hitler did to the Jews? In retrospect, that's what this post means. If you look at it, wow. And then this was the first one that came out. So here's another one. There's tons of them, guys. Tons of them. Calling blacks American is functionally, morally, and philosophically identical to believing that a man can choose to become a woman or a woman choose to become a man. Seriously, talk about false equivocation. Wow. We're not American. And then on the other one, he said something about us being pigs, something like that. Let me go back up here. Oh, yeah. Blacks have been in the United States for centuries. So have pigs, but that doesn't make them human. So we're not human and we're not American. Sounds like the book that I shared on my channel before called The Negro a Beast. Do you guys remember that? Look up that movie. Look up that book, The Negro a Beast. And basically, it makes these same types of attacks on black people. Look at this one, guys. Whites are objectively superior on a number of salient metrics, not least of all intelligence, creativity, and beauty. I am not bitter in the least. I am quite happy with how God made me. That is one of the most prideful, arrogant, white supremacist statements I have ever seen or read personally. There's something wrong with this dude. Something wrong with this dude. Here's another one. A fundamental problem that most are unwilling to discuss is that blacks in the United States have an average IQ of around 85. This makes it essentially impossible to discuss anything important or work towards meaningful solutions with them. We dumb, y'all. We all a bunch of dummies. You can't even talk to black people because they dumb. And if you watch, as we watch the clip of him interacting with Samuel Say, you're going to see it. He has an air of, you want me to repeat it to you? Because I can if you want to. It's actually quite simple. Just arrogant. Just a real arrogant person. You see it. Just enveloped in pride. Anyway, says they can only be controlled. Listen to this. Controlled, managed, ordered, or persuaded, or convinced. So you can't talk to them. You can't have meaningful dialogue with them. You can only control them, manage them, or order them, like you do with animals. Because he already said, basically that black people are animals. Y'all saw it yourself. Oh my goodness. Okay, so if God were to bless me with a daughter, now listen to this very closely, guys, then I would do my duty as a father and absolutely bar her from marrying a black. Not a black man, a black. What? Now, I'm gonna come up for this one because I got a serious question on this note right here. Stevie Rankins, what's up, man? Appreciate you, man. Thank you for stepping into the stream, brother. Appreciate you, man. I got a question to all my white brothers and sisters. I'm gonna ask you something based on that last thing I just read. If your son or your daughter came to you and said, with a white boy, a black boyfriend or a black girlfriend, what would you do? That's a rhetorical question. You don't got to put nothing in the chat. You don't got to. I'm just asking you. I'm just asking you a basic question. What would you do? What would you do? Because this is something we need to talk about, because it's a real thing. Like, would you allow your daughter, as a white person, to be with a black man, or vice versa? Built for Speed, what's up, my brother? Appreciate you, man. Thank you for stepping into the stream, my guy. I just want y'all to think about that while we continue. Think about what I just said. I'm just going to lead that right there. And let's continue on. Christianity requires that you be racist. That's what he just said. That's what he said. Bring it back up here so y'all can see it. Christianity, God requires that you be racist. Now, this whole idea of God being a racist is not only held by Corey Mahler and people like him. We got the Hebrew Israelites coming and saying it now, that God is a racist. That's why we're having these conversations. That's why we're having this conversation, because we got people on both sides of this that really actually believe that the Bible teaches us that God is a racist. This is a problem. This is a problem, people. This is a problem. Okay, so let's continue on here. I could just do the whole show just on his tweets. I have to cut this short. I got so much information. Okay, so I'm gonna do one or two more of these, and then I'm gonna move on, because this is just too much. So the enemy and adversary, listen to this. And adversary pastors hate Adolf Hitler because he shows young Christian men. He calls the people that was involved with Hitler, along with Hitler. He says young Christian men that actual Christianity can and should be a masculine religion that celebrates and defends life and all that is good and beautiful and true. Everything modern pastors are not. So he's holding up Hitler as an example of what a Christian man should be. This is sickening. This is sickening. Let me show y'all this. I'm sorry. This is, look, so y'all can actually see it. I didn't realize y'all didn't see. Let me bring it up close. Because y'all might think somebody might think I made that up. Hold on a second. Okay, so there it is right there. This dude is upholding. Look, the majority of pastors hate Hitler because he was the last Christian prince to recognize their wickedness and attempt to suppress it. Talking about the Jews. Now, I'm going to say this. Yes, the Jews are the ones that had Christ sent to the cross. But even that, God has not revoked his people. You understand what I'm saying? But listen. For him to make this statement right here, we got a very serious problem on our hands with this dude, because people are following him. Okay? People are following him. Hey, Lauren Rowland, appreciate you, sister. Thank you for being here. Hey, y'all hit that share button, man. Y'all hit the share button. Y'all hit the like buttons. Let's get this thing in the algorithm, man. It's 9 of y'all, 10 of y'all, everybody that's here. Do that for me. Y'all hit the share button, share it somewhere on Facebook. Hit the like button. Let's get it in the algorithms, because this is a very serious situation. Y'all see what we're dealing with. Y'all see what kind of a person. But see, this is a mentality. Let me hold on a second. This is a mentality. This is a mentality that must die. This mentality must die. I don't care who you are. This idea that God is a racist and God upholds people like Hitler, this must die. We can't just let this go. We got to call this out. We can't be quiet on this. That's why I'm doing this. I'm hoping y'all take up the challenge. I got a challenge at the end of this thing. I'm hoping y'all take it up, man. Okay, so let's go. Let's move along a little. We're gonna do a couple more of these, and then I'm gonna move on. No black in America, no black has ever been American. No black will ever be American. Really? Now you're gonna take our Americanism from us. Now you're gonna take the Americanism from us. We ain't even. This is part of the reason why. Let me say this real quick. This is part of the reason why we have identity crisis in America as blacks. Yeah, there I said it. I said it. Because Corey Mahler is not the only one that thinks like this. Edie Sally, appreciate you. Thank you for being here, my sister. Said, who is this Corey M guy? Oh, yeah, you hearing about him. Just, oh, no, nothing. Just your average white supremacist in Christian clothing in 2025. That's who Corey Mahler is. Okay, straight up. And y'all know on this channel, I spend a lot of time talking about Hebrew Israelites and other, races, whatever. It's time to call this out. Okay, because it would be disingenuous of me to spend the time. Now, don't get me wrong. I had a mandate from God, and I still do, to ride on these Hebrew Israelites for their racism. But I'm about to do the same thing on this white racism type stuff. It's the same thing. This is the same mentality that's from the Hebrew Israelites, but now it's a group of white people with the same idea. And let me change gears here for a second. Okay, y'all see the idea? We're looking at his tweets, right? Okay, so let's do this. So let's do this real quick. I'm gonna pull up. Let me see. Okay, so one more on the this. Okay, so we looked at his tweets. We looked at his website. Okay, so now we're gonna look at his Instagram. This is only one of these, so we don't have to spend a lot of time here. Oh, it's already one we already seen. We ain't even got to look at it. It's the one where he says interracial marriage is tantamount to murder. That's crazy right there. Interracial murder, interracial. He says interracial marriage is tantamount to murder. How? Anyway. Okay, so let's do this. Let's you guys already seen that. Let's go ahead and put up this. We're gonna look at some of this this debate he had with Samuel Say. Now you're gonna see a lot of what we've been sharing. We just been sharing in this interview. So I got it time marked. So we're not gonna go through the whole thing and be ridiculous to do that. So, but I want you to listen very closely to how Corey Mahler interacts with Samuel Say. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the 5-minute mark here, so we can kind of get his perspective. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's bring this up. Hold up. Let's do this.
Mint, strawberry, whatever it happens to be.
Hold on. That's too. Hold on.
Race is, in fact, a real category.
Okay, hold on. What's that? Okay.
The second is that race is a salient category. The distinction there being that there are real categories that don't really matter, and there are real categories that do. My contention is that race matters. So, for instance, one that doesn't matter, your favorite flavor of ice cream. That category is real.
Okay, so let me go ahead and do this real quick before I get in trouble here on Facebook. Let me do this. So that it won't be no trouble. I'm gonna have to learn how to train myself to do this because yeah, because it's oh that's not what that's not the one I wanted. Put this up here. I sure need a producer. Fair use. Okay, so but fair use because some people might get burnt, if they see this and try to turn me in or whatnot. So all this stuff I'm going to use, everything I'm doing on here today is fair use. Okay, just to put that up there. You come down and you go up. Okay, so here we go, guys. Here we go. Y'all make sure y'all hit the share button, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the like button. Appreciate y'all.
Because there are people who like chocolate, there are people like mint, strawberry, whatever it happens to be. But the category doesn't really matter. It doesn't really impact much of anything in life except for how much ice cream gets produced. The third point I would make is that race is a theologically salient category, which is essentially to point out that it is a category that is recognized in Scripture, and it has real implications for the faith, how the church expands, how the church is maintained, things like that. And then the fourth point would be directly to refute what Mr. Say has said a number of places, that racism is not, in fact, a sin. It's not even a real thing. And so that would get into his contention primarily, I assume, and from looking at his writing and some of his posts, would be that racism is partiality. And I'm going to disagree with that because I don't believe that it is partiality. That is a different thing.
Okay, so we'll open it up.
So he says racism is not partiality. Interesting. It's not? I don't know. That seems pretty partial to me. If you're treating somebody different because of their race, that sounds to me like partiality. What y'all think? Y'all think that, okay, so let's do this. Let's do a quick poll. We already got one poll going. An actual poll. When you come in, we got an actual poll in. Should we be talking about this? I hope you guys are voting in the poll. And also, this is another poll. Is racism partiality? Do y'all put a 1 in the chat if you believe racism is partiality? Put a 2 in the chat if you think racism is not partiality. Just something. This is something we can do.
So you can guys can have a natural conversation. But I do have a question that I just want to get out of the way. And I've been on X for a little bit, and I see the accusations made against you, Corey. I have not been much into your work, so I do want to ask: do you hate Black people?
No, I do not.
So wait, hold up, wait a minute, dude, you just told a huge lie. We just looked at your tweets, dude. You obviously hate Black people. But the thing about this is you think that God hates Black people because he thinks that God is cursed. You understand? Okay, let's put this up because we biblical over here. This is what Bill says. Bill says he shared Proverbs 26:24. He who hates disguises it with his lips, but he lays up deceit in his heart. That's exactly what this dude is doing. He wants you to believe that he don't hate Black people when he clearly said Black people are basically Black people have been in the U.S. for centuries, but so have pigs, and that doesn't make them human. If that's not hate, I don't know what is, guys. If that statement alone is not hate, I don't know what is. Let's let it continue.
What are your feelings generally about Black people?
My contention is that race is a real thing and that God created the races of men. He intended for there to be races of men, and we should preserve those races because the things that God has created are good. And to destroy the things that God has created is bad because the destruction of something that is good is bad. That's sort of tautological. It's very straightforward. And so I don't hate other races, but I recognize that if we don't put safeguards in place, if we don't take measures to preserve the different races of men, particularly in this day and age of mass migrations and problems like that, The races will no longer exist in the future. An example that I gave in a debate that I did with a pastor recently was if we took all of the people of French descent.
Now, I want y'all to listen to what he's getting ready to say right here. This is going to make the point on some of the stuff that he said about interracial stuff and interracial marriage and stuff. He's getting ready to make his point on that type of stuff right here.
All of those who are racially French and married them off to Africans. I don't remember which group I used. I might have used Ugandans. I just picked a country in Africa. Would there be any French in the next generation? The answer is no. And there would never be any Frenchmen ever again. I don't think that that's a good outcome. And the same thing would happen if you took all of the Japanese and married them off to Ethiopians or whatever it happens to be. And of course, you'd be destroying a huge chunk of Uganda and Ethiopia in the process as well.
See, so here's my problem with this narrative that he's using here. You notice how he's saying the intermarrying with the black people is going to destroy them. Why aren't you matching like the Scottish with someone else, Asian or whatever? Why are you just using black folks? They're going to be destroyed if they marry black folks. And this whole preserve narrative, this whole we've got to preserve our race narrative, dude, that's Hitler himself. That's that white supremacist attitude right there. We got to preserve our race. And now that's the same type of stuff we hearing from the black Hebrew Israelites. Same type of stuff. You understand? This is look, okay, let him talk. Let him talk some more.
And scripture is very clear that it is God who created the races of men. He set their boundaries and he set their times. So which is to say he set both chronological and geographical boundaries for the So translate. This is a translation. You Negroes need to stay in Africa and don't intermarry with nobody else. That's what he said, guys. That's the international in context with Jim Green translator. Just told you what he really meant. Okay? Y'all, you Negroes, this is that Jim Crow South stuff. You Negroes need to stay over there. Okay? We don't need you over here. We don't need you intermixing with our pure white women. We don't need your disgusting black blood mixing with ours because we are a pure race. That's what he's doing right now. The races of men. When we seek to undo God's work, I don't think that's a good thing. So I don't hate those of other races, but I don't think that we should destroy all of the races. And particularly, of course, I'm most concerned for my own race, for Europeans, because I am in.
And that's everything. The racists always say the same thing. The dudes with the pointy white hats, they called the KKK. That's exactly what they said. That's exactly what he's saying. We don't hate black people. We just love our own race. Guys, he's the same. This is the same language. This is KKK language. Point blank, period. He's dressing it up. He's being really nice about it, but he's a racist.
In fact, European. And it is right for men to be more concerned for their own race than for other races. That's simply the order of loves. You are
I'm gonna say something about that right there, because I think this is important. Do I love my black people? Absolutely. How could I not? I love my black people because that's my race. So that part I understand, but not to the detriment of everyone else. You understand? We are one nation. We are a one race. We are the human race. You understand? Dealmaker, what's up, man? About time you show up to a live stream. I ain't seen you up in a live stream in 11 years, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. But yeah, Okay, let's put Edie up here. Let's put Edie up here. She says, I don't belong to America. I belong to the kingdom of God. I'm a citizen there. That part. And this is what I've been trying to tell my Hebrew Israelite brothers. We belong to what's your nationality? My nationality is Jesus the Christ. My nationality is kingdom of God. That's my nationality. I am a black man in America that is part of the kingdom of God. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with her 100%. And that's what we need to be saying. When we come to Christ, everything about Christ supersedes everything else in our life. I've been trying to preach this for a long time. Maybe I need to start saying this more. When you come to Christ, Christ supersedes everything that you have going on in your life. So my question to this is to you is this. Is Christ supreme in your life? Let me say this again. Is Christ supreme in your life? Or is something else supreme in your life? Because he needs to be. Why? Because he paid the cost to be supreme in your life. When he went on that cross in your place, he should be the supreme thing in your life. Nothing else. Race, nationality, nothing. None of that. Christ supreme. The supremacy of Christ needs to reign in your life if you're a Christian. Let's get back to this.
You are more concerned for your immediate family than you are for your cousins. You're more concerned for your cousins than you are for members of your race, your co-ethnics, and you are more concerned for them than you are for humanity writ large. That's simply how things work. That's how God has ordained creation. If God didn't want that, he wouldn't have made us reproduce in the way that we do. We could have hatched human beings from eggs that could have fallen out of the sky or been grown on trees. He could have done anything he wanted to, but he created us such that we are born into a family. That family is part of a tribe. That tribe is part of a nation. And so these categories are important, and they are in Scripture, because everywhere in Scripture, from Genesis to Revelation, you see terms related to race. You see ethnos, which is in fact the Greek word for race. This is something
that's no, he's incorrect there. Nations. That's what ethnos means. Nations, not race. He's conflating the terms. And in fact, this is what I'm going to say. In fact, we didn't have race until, hold on, let me pull this up real quick since we're talking about this. Let's see. I'm looking up this dude. Because it had to come from somewhere, right? It had to come from somewhere, right? It had to come from somewhere. It didn't just show up on at the doorstep one day. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay, so a gentleman named, and I'm gonna bring this up for y'all, so we can have some education over here. Okay, so let me pull it. Let me get his name first, because we're gonna look at everything. We're gonna look at everything, y'all. We're gonna look at everything. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up so y'all can see this. Okay, where did the actual term of racism like really pick up and start getting? How do we get to this place where you're black, you're white, you're all that type of stuff, right? It came from, it had to come from somewhere, like I said. So let me show y'all where it came from real quick. Let me show y'all where it came from real quick. Okay, so, oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. I want to show. What? What's going on? I know. Hold on. Oh, that's, oh, see. Oh, man, come on, man. Okay, so let's just do this real quick. Let me put him up real quick. This is getting on my nerves. That's why I need a producer. Okay, so this guy right here, Carl Linnaeus. What is Carl Linnaeus known for? What is he known for? Okay, so he was a botanist that was responsible for, here it is right here, is and you guys can see it highlighted. Carl Linnaeus is most famous for creating a system of naming plants and animals, a system we still use today. This system is known as binomial system, whereby each species of plants and animals is given a genus name, followed by a scientific name, species. Okay, and both names being in Latin. Okay, so that's the very surface of who he is. So let's look a little bit further into who Linnaeus was. This is what he's really the most impactful thing that he did. This right here. System of nature. System of nature. Okay. Let's pull this up so y'all can see what this is. System of nature. Okay, this is how he classified human beings. Okay, this is his system of how he classified human beings. So let me show you what we got. So this came from Mr. Linnaeus. Let's pull this up right here and look at it. 4 races of men. This is what he came from. Look, it says, go back to where you came from. An anthropological look at Linnaeus' taxonomy and classification. Now, I'm gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna give y'all these resources because I want y'all to look up this stuff for yourself. So nobody can come and say Jim is over here doing some weird stuff. Jim is just coming over here creating some stuff. No, Jim is just revealing the truth. It's time for us to have some transparency. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so let's do this. Okay. So as you can see, now there's a different one I want to show. Here, this picture is very, very, this is a very good looking picture. I'm going to go on. I know there's pictures that are more, okay, so here they are right here. These are more close to what Linnaeus would have come up with that I'm showing you guys right now, right here. I'm sure, let's see. Yep. These are all associated with his system. Oh, let's not decline that. I'm looking for a specific one though. I'm looking for a specific chart of races. Oh, boom. Okay, so now let's have some transparency. Okay, so now let's look at this, guys. This is Linnaeus. Okay, this is Linnaeus right here. This is Linnaeus thought right here. This is it right here on the screen. Y'all see this? Okay, so on the left, you got these animals, right? Orangutans. On the right, you got all these other races, right? Okay, look at the ones at the top. Them supposed to be white folks. The ones in the middle, these are supposed to be Asians. The ones in the middle, these are black folks, because right there you see nigger. You know what that is? Nigger. Y'all can see that yourself. Okay. That's that red line of people. And then the bottom is these are islanders. These are Pacific Islanders. This is how it says Papua. That's how we know. Like Papua New Guinea. This is how they saw them. This is lineage, guys. This is the division of races that we talking about. And this is what he's advocating. This is what this dude, this Corey dude, is advocating for. You understand what I'm saying? This is what he's advocating for. Okay. So this is what I want. This is why I'm showing y'all this. This dude wants all y'all black. This is how you see y'all. This is how you see black folks, like the dudes on the chart. Okay. That's why y'all need to stay over there in Africa and let everybody else alone, because y'all destroying the other races. Now, he didn't say that, but he said that. And where'd my video go? Let me put it back up here. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, let me do this real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna go through this. See, let me just get to some time points right here. Okay, so 9:55. Let's get up to 9:55, because this is when he starts making some points. He starts actually getting asked some questions. So let's do that. Let's put this up. Boom. And get it going again. Okay, so here we go.
Or not. But yeah, we are. So anyways, Sam, I'm going to kick it over to you to respond directly to Corey.
Yeah, so I'll respond as simply as this. The reason why Mr. Mahler gets rightly accused of hating black people is because he says that black people are cursed. He says that we are inferior intellectually, and then also inferior morally. But the reason for that is because he believes that because our, I guess, great ancestor is Ham, he believes that that we are cursed for that reason. Is that correct? Mr. Mahler, is that correct?
I do hold to the traditional interpretation that the curse that is pronounced by Noah, the father of all living, is indeed passed down to his descendants, who are Africans, which is to say blacks. Okay, the curse of Ham falls on those of African descent. Yes.
Now he said it again. The curse of Ham. Brother, there was no curse of Ham. You are following a racist, white supremacist line of thinking, sir. You're following it, and I'm going to show that. I'm going to show this. I did this on another. I did another show where I broke down where this whole idea of the curse of Ham is already been condemned, but it was a part of academia. This dude is trying to bring it back to life, because many of today's scholars recognize that this was used to this part of it. The reason why we had the transatlantic slave trade is we have dudes like this that twisted Genesis 9 to believe that all black people were cursed, and your curse is to be in slavery. You are inferior. And if we're talking about the curse being for Canaan, Canaan's curse was carried out by the children of Israel. The land that was promised to them was the land of Canaan. This is what we don't understand. When people don't understand this. the curse of Canaan, it wasn't the curse of Ham, the curse of Canaan has been carried out. But yet we got dudes like this that want to twist the Bible to maintain a position of racism. No, sir. No, sir. We don't agree with you. And the Bible doesn't agree with you.
Okay, so is that on everyone who is a descendant of Ham, or is it just black people?
That's all of the descendants of Ham.
Okay.
So yes, it would also fall to some degree on Arabs, for instance, who very clearly descended from Ishmael, who are.
So now he's pronouncing the curse on listen to this dude, man. This dude is amazing.
Part Hamite and part Shemite.
Okay. How do you know that you are not yourself a Hamite in that way?
Because I own a mirror and I have my.
What? Oh, seriously? Because I own a mirror. That's your
genealogy. I know my history.
Well,
I'm descended from Japheth, descended from Gomer, descended from Ashkenaz. I'm Germanic.
So you're suggesting that the Shemites, Hamites, Japhethites, did they never ever intermarried? Is that what you're suggesting?
Oh no, there was certainly some intermarriage, but largely in the Near East, because if you look at the spread of peoples, and you can look at this through Y-DNA, haplogroups, and mitochondrial DNA, they spread out from what is today essentially modern Turkey, right in that area. The Armenians like to claim it was Armenia instead. But anyway, that region is where the ark came to land. It came to rest there after the flood. And then the sons of Noah spread out. The sons of Ham spread out.
Now, here's where we get into, and this is what makes this type of guy so dangerous. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys something. There is some truth to those who speak lies. Listen, if you really want someone to believe a lie, tell them some truth. That's just facts. If you want somebody to believe your lie, give them some truth and then stick the lie in there. Yeah, this part right here, Sheila Mahone. Exactly, right? Yeah, he's getting ready to break down the whole 10th chapter of Genesis. You know what I'm saying? So but let him speak, and you're gonna see where he's going. Watch this. Okay, so I want to get through this quick because I got some other stuff I want to talk about. Let's see. Let me fast forward to. Let's see here. Okay, okay, I know where I want to go now. Let's see. Let's see. Right around there, is it? Let's see. Checking my timestamps and all that kind of good stuff, y'all. Okay, 4340. That's where I want to go. Okay, so this is a little bit before that. Let's scoot up a little bit more. Hold on. 4340. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this. Let this play out, and let's see what he got to say. Okay, now here's where it gets good, guys. Here's where it gets good. Listen to this right here, y'all. Listen to this. Wow. Here's the racism insert. If you love your race, then you stick to them. That's basically what he said. That's that master race stuff, guys. That's master race theology. That's all that is. Master race. Plain and simple. Now he's now here's the tap dancing. Here comes the tap dancing, right? He's asking him a direct question. He's tap dancing now. So being with someone, marrying someone outside of your race is saying that you hate your own race. That's basically what he's saying here. Let's let this go.
And I like being American because those are the things that I am. And then I went ahead and denied that to my children by marrying someone, doesn't matter,
I'm
pick
sorry.
a group, Chinese, whatever it happens to be.
Hold on, guys.
I have denied that.
I think my brother Bill just called me because yeah. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I think something weird just happened. That's why Bill called me. Okay, got you. Okay, I'm sorry. So let me go back, guys. Let me go back to where I was at, to where he's makes this crazy assertion right here. Okay, so let's go about right there.
Race.
Okay, can y'all hear the video?
Whatever it happens to be. You have white privilege. You're a terrible person because you're white, because you're a colonizer, whatever it happens to be. That would be sinful because of the reasons he did it, per quote.
Okay, so
matters is what I'm saying.
Okay, so
okay,
listen,
so let me
guys.
say this. So I love my ethnicity. I love being Ghanaian. I love being Akan. That's my ethnic group. I love being Fanti. That's my tribe within the ethnic group. My wife loves her skin color. She loves that she has a Frisian background, Dutch background. No shame. We don't hate ourselves in any way. We got married. Is that glorifying to God?
You love your background, as you claim. She loves her background. Then why did you deny that to your children? You did.
So again,
wow.
Hold on.
Are your children Ghanaian?
I want to see your question. But before, again, because of what you said earlier, I'm just asking you.
I don't know enough about your marriage to make that assessment.
Well, hold on.
This is a fact-specific analysis.
Assume that I'm right and that I love my culture, ethnicity. She loves hers. We got married. Is that glorifying to God? Yes or no?
My question would then be, why did you deny that to your
Tap
children?
dancing.
Can you just
because
no,
the problem with your hypothetical is that your actions are at odds with your claim.
No. It's not. I'm telling you that I love
now listen
my
to this
ethnicity and my culture, and so
I know, but your actions are at odds with that.
So say it again.
Your actions are here. Your actions are at odds with your claim. If I said that I like being German and I like being Scottish and I like being American because those are the things that I am, and then I went ahead and denied that to my children by marrying someone, doesn't matter, pick a group, Chinese, whatever it happens to be. I have denied that thing that I claim to love to my children. And so my actions are at odds with my words.
Okay, so you not allowed so loving someone outside of your race is like almost like hating yourself. Is that what he's saying? This is weird. This is weird to me, guys. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about that, but something is not quite stable about this. But I'm hoping that y'all can hear what's going on here. I hope y'all can hear what's going on. Okay. Here's what another gear change. I want to talk about where this type of mentality comes from, because he didn't just wake up. This dude didn't just wake up one day and this is what was on his mind. He had to get this from somewhere. There is a problem. He got this idea from somewhere. Okay, now there's a book out here called The Curse of Ham, okay, by David Goldenberg. Okay, I'm going to share with you why this guy continuing to say the curse of Ham is wrong. Okay, first of all, if you read the Bible, you'll know that Canaan was the one cursed, and you'll know that the curse that was upon him was carried out by the children of Israel, taking over their land. You'll know this, right? So, but let's look at so let's look at this. Let's look at this book, The Curse of Ham, and I'm just telling you guys right now. This is a book that blew the lid off of this whole idea of the curse of Ham. Okay, let me put this over here. I'm gonna put the name of this in the chat with the Okay, so I got that over there, but take a look at this, guys. Take a look at this. Okay, what is the main thesis of this book called The Curse of Ham? If you guys this is the topic that remotely interests you, I encourage you to get this book. Goldenberg investigates how the biblical story of Noah and Ham was historically misinterpreted and weaponized to justify Black inferiority and slavery in Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions. Get that. Even though the Bible never identifies Ham or his descendants as Black. Did y'all get that part? You understand? So look, here we go. So the original story doesn't mention race. That's point number one. Okay. Number two, and I'm gonna go through these. Just go get if you got a couple of dollars, go get the book, guys. Number two, ancient misreadings introduced race. I already showed you Carl Linnaeus, how he divided everybody up into race and how he categorized the people and saw people. I showed you that. Later, Jewish, Christian, and Islamic interpreters begin linking Ham's descendants, especially through Cush and Egypt, to Africa. Okay, by the early centuries AD, some people begin to equate the curse with Blackness and slavery, even though the Bible doesn't do this. Okay, number three, Islamic and rabbinic texts contributed to racialization. Some early Islamic writings claimed Ham's descendants were black-skinned and destined to serve. Certain Jewish midrashic texts echoed those same associations. So not only did you have Islam saying that Ham's were Black people were cursed, you also had Jews saying that Black people were cursed. Interesting, right? Okay, so number four, okay, justifying slavery in Christian Europe and Americas. We know already that they used this, right? This was a central theological tool. This curse of Ham was used to justify African slavery. Okay, period. You guys know this. Okay, so what's the problem? What is the problem with this? What caused this misinterpretation? Okay, what racial problems were caused by this interpretation? Justification for African slavery, theological racism. This is the reason why I say that the entry in the Ham entry in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary was racist. That's why I always make that point, because it was part of the theology of that day. Anyway, so in cross-religious spread, Now, this idea spread across Judaism, Christianity, and the top three religions in the world. This had global impact. Okay. In the perpetuation in modern racism, echoes of this myth still appear in some circles today, obviously, perpetuating religiously framed anti-black bias. We're looking at it right now. That's what we are seeing right now, right? So the idea that black people were cursed by God has no biblical foundation. It emerged from cultural biases, not divine revelation. Okay. Goldberg urges scholars and theologians to confront and dismantle these deeply ingrained false teachings, which was part of the reason why I wanted to have this talk today. Because we got to get this out of here, man. We got to get rid of this. We got to get rid of this. This is a mentality that has to go. Okay. Now, let's see. Where does it come from as far as modern scholarship? Now, this is where I'm really finna step on some toes. I'm really finna step on some toes right now, y'all. This is a toe stepping type of thing that I'm finna show y'all right now. Okay. I love my theologians. I do. And I know a lot of people do also. This is one of the ones that people love. And I know they do. This dude's name is Robert Louis Dabney. We have commentaries named after this guy. Okay. This guy is touted in theological circles as one of the greatest theologians of his time. Right? This dude was a racist. Let me show y'all how. Okay. Robert Louis, this is an article, okay, from Daniel Cleveland. Okay. This is what he wrote about. And this is a white dude, too, that wrote this. Robert Louis. This is why I'm gonna say, like, every white person is not a racist. This makes the whole point that I made earlier when we started this. Just like all white people are not racist, all black people are not racist either. Same thing. But listen, Robert Louis Dabney has been thoroughly whitewashed in Reformed evangelical circles that it comes as a surprise when he is criticized for his virulent white supremacy. Listen, the whitewashed version of Dabney started with close friend and first biographer Thomas Carey Johnson and was passed along to Reformed evangelicals by Ian Murray, for example, and Banner of Truth publishers. He was then picked up by men like John MacArthur. Oh my goodness. Listen, guys, I'm gonna show y'all. By John MacArthur, who gave him unqualified recommendation for over 38 years. Now, y'all, if y'all know me, y'all know I got receipts. We're gonna get to them later. Okay. I'm gonna let me come up for here. Let me come up right here. Let me just say this right now. I love John MacArthur. When I started making my move toward a very solid biblical approach to God and to the Bible, it started with John MacArthur. I used to listen to his broadcast every day on the radio. His teachings, I love his teachings. That's why it was hard for me when I found this. Because now I got to rethink some things. And I'm going to show you guys a clip of John MacArthur in a minute. But Robert Dabney, he promoted John MacArthur had promoted him. Okay. Why is this a problem? Why is this a problem? I'm going to show you why this is a problem. Here is some of his work. Okay. But I was about to say that in considering these supposed evils of slavery, we must remember that the real evil is the presence of 3.5 million civilized foreigners amongst us. And of this gigantic evil, domestic slavery is the potent and blessed cure. What? Slavery is the potent and blessed cure? To what? This foreign and semi-barbarous population, talking about the Africans, was placed here by no agency of ours. The cupidity of the forefathers of American and British abolitionists placed it here amongst our earnest somebody hold on, I'm gonna put this word in the chat. I don't even know what this word means, and I'm a word person. I have never seen this word until I read this article. Okay, so let me put this in the chat because I want to know what this means. Jim Green, wait, hold on, let's put this up. Who introduced you to the Bible? Okay, I'm glad you asked that because I was just talking about him. Our old pastor, a black pastor named Elder McGee. He drove around in a Sunday school bus. He was the pastor and picked me up and brought me to church. And I started learning about the Bible in Sunday school. But it was a black pastor that introduced me. That's the answer to your question. But anyway, I put that word in there. If you guys could look up that word for me, I'd appreciate it. Earnest and left us to find the remedy for its presence. It would have been a curse that would have paralyzed the industry, corrupted the morals, and crushed the development of any nation. Thus, to have an ignorant, pagan, lazy, uncivilized people, talking about the Africans again, intermixed with us. Now, you got to remember, they were kidnapped and brought here. He's making it seem like there was an invasion of some kind of the Africans, right? So, and spread abroad like the frogs of Egypt. Listen to how he's explaining the Africans. The remedy is slavery. So we got to enslave all these Africans that's upon us. We should do this. And let us ask, what has slavery done to rescue the South and the Africans in these pretentious circumstances? It has civilized and Christianized the Africans. Wow. Seriously? That's what you think, dude? And has made them, in the view of all who are practically acquainted with their condition, the most comfortable peasantry in the world. So the Africans are, because of Christianity, they're comfortable peasants. So says this white supremacist. Listen, okay. It says it has produced a policy of crimes, riots, and mobs that far surpass the land of steady habits. What do you think is going to happen when you kidnap a people, take them out of their land, and bring them to a foreign land and subject them to chattel slavery, where they don't own their lives, they don't own anything that they have? What kind of emotions or reactions do you expect from them? He never thought to ask that. Never thought to ask it. Anyway, listen. So that boasted the North, as it proved by the statistics of crime, it has rendered political convulsions in our own borders impossible. It has developed a magnificent agriculture, which is, in spite of the burden of unequal legislation, has enabled the South to maintain a proportionate increase in its gigantic rival. So we got some good out of this, guys. Hey, we got good agriculture out of all these Negroes running around here acting a fool. That's the in context translator. A reference to the statistic of religious denominations of the country shows that slavery has made about 500,000, listen to this, 1 in every 6 of these pagan savages, talking about the Africans, a professor of Christianity. The whole number of converted pagans, now church members, connected with the mission churches of the Protestant world is supposed to be about 190,000. 190,000, a goodly and encouraging number indeed. But compare these converted pagans to the 500,000 converts from the pagan Africans among us, and we see that through the civilizing agency of domestic slavery, the civilizing agent, so that the slavery civilized them, right, with the Christianity. The much slandered Christianity of the South has done far more for the salvation of heathen men than all the religious enterprises of the Protestant Christendom. And this is no doubt but the dawn of the brighter day, which the benevolent affection of the masters will light up around the black population, if they are not interfered with by the schemes of a fanaticism. Now, this is just one letter I'm reading to y'all. This is just one letter. Matter of fact, let me put this letter up. Let me put it in the chat. Let me put it in the chat for y'all. Put it in the chat. This is from Dabney, a guy that was promoted by John MacArthur for years, 38 years. Listen. This is why I'm doing this show. I'm doing this because it needs to be revealed. Now, like I said, I love John MacArthur. But like any other human being, he has flaws. And one of the flaws is a flaw that has been in the church for a long time. Listen very closely. We need to deal with the racism from the past that is affecting us in the present. We haven't dealt with it yet. We can't just simply turn a blind eye and hope it goes away, because you know what happens? Corey Mahler happens. That's what happens. Now I'm gonna play this video. by John MacArthur, because you need to see it from, and this is fair use, you need to see it come from his own mouth, because otherwise Jim is just talking, right? I'm just talking. Y'all know that. Y'all know I don't like to just be talking. Y'all know I like to have receipts. So here is, take a look at this right here. John MacArthur touts the benefits of slavery in 2012 video that has resurfaced. Now, I want to say this before I play this video. I'm if he has repented of that, I don't know. If you guys know of a video where he recants on this, y'all let me know, and I will play the video and I will recant this. But I'm not aware of any recanting of this. So I have to talk about it. And I know this is going to get me in hot water, but somebody has to say it. Because we all got to be responsible. We all got to be responsible for our part in this racism that's in the church today. We're all responsible. That's why I'm doing this. So here's what the article says. It's a 2012 video published by the Grace to You Preaching Ministry, has been gaining fresh attention. This is old, by the way. This is an old article. It's kind of buried. You know what I'm saying? Church leaders. The video began circulating on social media shortly after it was featured in a Baptist News Global article that offered analysis regarding what John MacArthur has said about race, slavery, and the so-called curse of Ham. Throughout his decades as a preacher and a public figure, MacArthur has been the pastor of Grace Community Church in Sun Valley, California since 1969, and has authored numerous Bible commentaries, and other works. Though he is greatly admired and highly influential among certain groups within broader evangelicalism, MacArthur is also known for a strong and sometimes controversial stance on matters of theology and civil engagement. Okay. In the 2012 video, MacArthur agreed that slavery, look, hold on, let me zoom in. Let me zoom in so y'all can see it. And I already put the article in the chat. Let's see. In the 2012 video, MacArthur agrees, and I'm gonna play the video, that slavery only becomes a problem when a master is abusive, going on to discuss the Christian spiritual slavery to Jesus, whom MacArthur described as the perfect master. Listen, guys, when you listen, I'm gonna say this right here. Whenever you make an equivocation like this is a problem. This is a problem. Because the type of slavery, this is the false equivocation. You can't equivocate chattel slavery with our servanthood to Christ. This is not, we don't do this. But here we have John MacArthur doing this. This is what we have. So let me finish reading this. It is a little strange that we have such an aversion to slavery because historically there have been abuses. No kidding. Oh, there's been abuses. This dude, to me, he seems out of touch with what the transatlantic slave trade was. There have been abuses in marriage. We don't have an aversion to marriage, really, because there have been abuses. There are parents who abuse their children. We don't have aversion to having children because some parents have been abusive. Of course, you can have any kind of situation where abuse can be involved. MacArthur continued. So to throw out slavery as a concept simply because there have been abuses, I think, is to miss the point. Wow. You got to be kidding me. Let's play the video. Let's play the video, because at this point, this is some crazy stuff here. Let's go ahead and play the video. Let's go ahead and play the video because it's better said. It's better you hear it coming from him than coming from me. So let's go ahead and play the video. Okay, and then y'all, this is y'all can be the judge for yourself. And here we go. So right here, this is another false equivocation. He's equivocating the slaves as employees. No, they were kidnapped. They were kidnapped from their own land and dragged here and forced to work for no money. I don't this is disturbing for me, guys. This is disturbing for me to hear this, because clearly John MacArthur has no idea of the magnitude of the transatlantic slave trade for him to be making this kind of statement. God has legitimized slavery. No, he never legitimized chattel slavery, John MacArthur. And slavery to Jesus Christ is not a chattel slavery. It is a servanthood situation. Okay, it's two different things. But here's the problem with that, John. Here's the problem with that, John. The slaves didn't get to pick their master. That's the problem with this argument. The slaves did not get to pick their master. So that argument goes through. No. And you can't equate a human master with Christ as master. That's two completely different things too. Wow. Wow. That's all I can say to that. See, and this is why I'm doing this show, because and I want to make something clear. This is not an attack on John MacArthur. Okay. He's a human being. He's obviously a flawed human being, just like the rest of us. But I played the video to show you how this flawed argument, this flawed idea came from as far back, at least that we can know, way hundreds of years ago, down through Dabney, down through let's see, John MacArthur and others like him. You see? So that's why we're dealing with this. So let's see. Let's see. Hey Jim, the video is not giving audio. Oh, it wasn't. Okay. Oh man. Okay, let me do this then, guys. Let me do this. So because you guys need to hear that, and that's gonna be probably the last thing I do. Because it's time for me to wrap it up. But I'm gonna do, let me put this in real quick. Thank you for letting me know. Bill just called me too, so I figured something was wrong with the audio. So let me play this video real quick. It's like a 3-minute video. So let me do this. And okay, so let me put it back up. Put it up. Let me put it up. Okay. Okay.
A little strange.
Y'all let me know if y'all can hear the audio.
We have such an aversion to slavery because historically there have been abuses there have been abuses in marriage. We
Y'all
don't
hear
have
that?
an aversion to marriage, particularly because there have been abuses. There are parents who abuse their children. We don't have an aversion to having children because some parents have been abusive. Of course, you can have any kind of situation where abuse can be involved. The reason unions grew up in America was not to free slaves. The reason unions grew up in America was because there were people who had businesses and they were abusing their employees. So to throw out slavery as a concept,
Okay, I said it on the earlier, like this human slave, he's equating slaves as employees. The African slaves were not employees; they were kidnapped and forced to work for nothing. So that's a bad equivocation.
Because there have been abuses, I think, is to miss the point. In any kind of human relationship, there can be abuses. There can also be benefits. For many people, poor people, perhaps people who weren't educated, perhaps people who had no other opportunity, working for a gentle, caring, loving master was the best of all possible worlds. If you had the right master, everything was taken care of. So we have to go back and take a more honest.
Another false equivocation. You can't equivocate a human master with Christ. The servitude to Christ is not the same as chattel slavery to a human master, to where you're owned by the master and he can do all kinds of sick, degenerate, evil things to you, which is what happened to the
Let's look at
Africans.
slavery and understand that God has, in a sense, legitimized it when it's handled correctly.
So, and no, God never legitimized chattel slavery. In fact, the Bible speaks against chattel slavery. John MacArthur, Bible teacher of Bible teachers, are you really saying this? Seriously?
By saying this is the way you're to view your relationship to Jesus Christ, the perfect, all wise, all loving, all compassionate, all beneficent Lord, and you willing to be his slave because of such unique care.
And like I said, this is a false equivocation, Mr. MacArthur. False equivocation. I'm putting this video in the chat for y'all. So y'all can so whenever y'all talk about this, y'all can say, here's the video of him actually saying it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so listen, guys, listen. Brothers like Corey have a serious problem, but we still got the problem today. So years ago, a couple of years ago, I wrote this letter. It's really like a bullet point, but this is how I'm going to end my show, guys. This is a call out to my white Christian brothers and sisters in the Lord. Love y'all. Here's what I'm asking for you to do. I'm entitled this letter. Hold on a second. I entitled this letter, Dear White Christian. That's what I called it. Here are my bullet points. Please acknowledge and denounce the atrocities and white supremacy upon the Black community. That's my first ask. Okay, first bullet point. Next bullet point. Please acknowledge that chattel slavery was never favorable to Black people in any way, shape, or form. If we look at it for what it was not good for us. God brought us through it, but it was never an ideal situation for us, like Mr. MacArthur wants us to believe. Okay. Next bullet point. Call for accountability from white theologians, pastors, and preachers who refuse to fully condemn the transatlantic slave trade and other chattel slavery systems worldwide. Can y'all do that? Can y'all denounce these people? Because it has to come from y'all. It's not enough for us to say something about it. You got to say something. The ball is in your court. You have to start standing up to these people, like the guy that wrote this article. He's a white theologian who realized that what was going on was wrong. Can you do that? Okay, next bullet point. Distance yourself from any pastor, theologian, or preacher who has historically held to racist views despite their Christian position or scholarly accomplishments. I know that's going to be hard for some of y'all, but if you're going to be real, you got to do this. Because God does not want you following this line of thinking. I guarantee you. Okay. So next bullet point, please fully acknowledge the place that Black people have had throughout biblical and church history. I have a video called that talks about the whitewashing of Christianity. Hold on a second. This book right here, The Whitewashing of Christianity by Jerome Gay Jr. My white brother and sister, if you really want to know about some situations that shouldn't have happened and how to fix them, get that book. And I'm not getting a penny for that. I just think it's a good place to start. Okay. Anyway, so the next bullet point, begin to cultivate relationships with your Black and brown relievers that you know personally in your local community and on social media. I have been on some white people who call themselves Christians, and they did. Some of y'all gonna call this a petty or whatever you want to call it. Not one single Black or brown friend on their Facebook. Listen, that is a serious problem. How do you call you? No, I'm calling y'all out today. How do you call yourself a child of God, but you don't have one Black person on your friends list on Facebook? I'll call foul. And if y'all got a problem with me, my email, hey, let's talk. Do the work 2020@gmail.com. Let's talk. Okay. So the next bullet point, and I'm almost done. Repudiate white scholars who have demonstrated racial bias in Christian historical scholarship. They are in there. All you have to do is look. Repudiate them. Stand up against them. Rebuke them. Call them wrong. Call them to the carpet. Can you do that? And finally, only accept and embrace your Black brothers and sisters in the faith openly accept and embrace your Black brothers and sisters in the faith into your personal life. Did y'all hear that? Into your personal life, church life, and the halls of academia. Can y'all do that? My white brothers and sisters, can y'all do that? I think you can. I love y'all. I do. With all my heart. I do. I just want this problem to go away. I want this problem to be fixed because we need to be unified as a body. And we're all different parts of the body. The imago Dei is the image of God in every man. We cannot properly represent that until we deal with this happening in the body of Christ as we speak. You understand what I'm saying? So with that, man, I hope that this was a blessing to you. If this was a blessing to you, you guys, please go ahead and share this to your Facebooks and your other social medias and whatnot. And with that, I just want to say shout out to y'all. I see you guys active in the chat. I appreciate your DFC. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Bill for Speed, I appreciate you. I've seen every call that you made. I knew I had to make adjustment. Thank you. Continue to do that. Deal Maker, I appreciate you. I haven't seen you in a live chat in a long time. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Also, Volta, appreciate you. Thank you for your comments. Lauren Roland, appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Stevie Rankins, thank you for coming. Sheila Mahone, thank you for coming. Edie Sally, thank you for coming. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, man. I hope you guys have a blessed and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. If you haven't already had one, thank each and every one of you guys. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for coming, man. I hope this was a blessing to you. God bless you. See you guys next time. Be blessed.